I found out my dad has a secret family, and my mom wants me to keep it a secret. What do I do? Hey Reddit, I'm in a situation that feels like it's straight out of a soap opera, and I don't know what to do. I'm a 27-year-old guy, and I've always thought my family was pretty normal until last week. Here's what happened. I was helping my dad clean out his home office. He's been talking about downsizing for a while when I stumbled across a folder labeled tax documents. I figured it was just boring paperwork, but when I opened it, I found something I wasn't expecting: photos of my dad with another woman and two kids who look way too much like him to be coincidental. There were also school reports, birthday cards, and even a lease agreement for an apartment in a city about 2 hours away from where we live. At first, I thought maybe it was an old friend or something, but the dates on the documents were recent, like within the last 5 years. My heart sank when I realized what I was looking at. My dad has a whole other family. I confronted him about it, and after a lot of back and forth, he admitted it. He's been living a double life for years. He has a second wife. They're not legally married, but they call each other husband and wife, and two kids, aged 8 and 5. He says he never meant for this to happen, but he fell in love and couldn't help himself. He begged me not to tell my mom, saying it would destroy her. Here's where it gets even messier. I told my mom. I couldn't keep something like that to myself. But instead of being angry or devastated, she just shut down. She told me she already knew. Apparently, she found out a few years ago but decided to stay with him for the sake of keeping the family together. She said she didn't want me or my younger sister to grow up in a broken home, so she's been pretending everything is fine. Now, she's asking me to keep it a secret too. She says if word gets out, it'll ruin our family's reputation and hurt my sister, who's still in high school and doesn't know anything about this. But I feel like I'm carrying this huge weight, and I don't know if I can keep pretending everything's normal. What do I do, Reddit? Do I respect my mom's wishes and keep this secret, or do I tell my sister and let the chips fall where they may? I feel like no matter what I do, someone's going to get hurt. Update 1. EY everyone. Thanks for all the advice and support. I've been reading through the comments, and it's given me a lot to think about. I decided to talk to my mom again to get a better sense of why she's so determined to keep this a secret. We had a long, emotional conversation last night. She admitted that part of the reason she stayed with my dad is financial. She's been a stay-at-home mom for most of her life and doesn't feel like she has the skills or resources to support herself if they divorce. She also said she's worried about how it would affect my sister, who's already struggling with anxiety and depression. I asked her if she's happy, and she just started crying. She said she hasn't been happy in years, but feels trapped. It broke my heart to see her like that. I told her I'd support her no matter what she decides to do, but I also made it clear that I don't think keeping this secret is healthy for anyone. I'm still torn about what to do about my sister. On one hand, I feel like she deserves to know the truth. On the other hand, I don't want to make her mental health worse. For now, I've decided to hold off on telling her, but I'm going to encourage my mom to start therapy and think about her options. Update 2. Well, things have taken a turn. My dad found out that I told my mom about his secret family, and he's furious. He called me last night and accused me of ruining everything. He said I had no right to interfere and that I should have just minded my own business. I told him that he was the one who ruined everything by lying to everyone for years. He hung up on me after that, and we haven't spoken since. Meanwhile, my mom has been acting really strange. She's been alternating between being really quiet and lashing out at small things. I think the stress of all this is getting to her. I've been trying to get her to see a therapist, but she keeps putting it off. I also found out that my dad's other family knows about us. Apparently, he told them that he's divorced and that we're his ex-wife and kids. I can't believe he's been lying to them too. I'm starting to wonder if there's anyone in his life he hasn't lied to. I'm still not sure what to do about my sister. I've been thinking about telling her, but I'm worried about how she'll react. She's always been really close to our dad, and I don't want to destroy that relationship for her. At the same time, I feel like she deserves to know the truth. Update 3. I finally told my sister. It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, but I couldn't keep lying to her. I sat her down and explained everything as gently as I could. At first, she didn't believe me. She thought I was joking or making it up. But when I showed her the photos and documents, she broke down. She's been really angry and hurt, and I don't blame her. She's been avoiding our dad, and spending a lot of time in her room. I've been trying to be there for her, but I know this is something she's going to have to process in her own way. My mom is still in denial. She keeps saying we need to keep the family together and that we'll get through this as long as we stick together. But I don't see how that's possible when my dad's been lying to all of us for years. I've been thinking a lot about what some of you said in the comments about setting boundaries and prioritizing my own mental health. I've decided to take a step back from my dad for a while. I don't know if I'll ever be able to forgive him for what he's done, but right now, I need some space to figure things out. Update 4. It's been a few weeks since I last updated, and things have been chaotic. My sister told one of her friends about the situation, and somehow, word got out to the rest of our extended family. Now, everyone's asking questions, and my dad is furious. He's blaming me for airing our dirty laundry, but I didn't even tell anyone outside of my sister. My mom is still refusing to leave him, but she started seeing a therapist, which I think is a step in the right direction. She's been opening up more about how she's feeling, and I can tell she's starting to realize that she deserves better. As for me, I've been focusing on taking care of myself and my sister. We've been spending a lot of time together, and it's been nice to have someone who understands what I'm going through. I've also started seeing a therapist, which has been really helpful. I don't know what the future holds for our family, but I'm trying to take things one day at a time. Thanks again to everyone who's been supportive and offered advice. It's been a rough few weeks, but I'm starting to feel like I'll get through this. Final update. It's been a few months since I first posted, and I wanted to give you all a final update. My parents are officially separated. My mom finally decided she couldn't keep living a lie, and she's been staying with her sister while she figures out her next steps. She's been doing a lot better since she left, and I'm really proud of her for taking that step. My sister is still struggling, but she's been seeing a therapist and is starting to work through her feelings. She's been really angry at our dad, but she's also starting to realize that his actions aren't a reflection of her worth. As for me, I've been focusing on healing and moving forward. I've cut contact with my dad for now, and I'm not sure if or when I'll be ready to talk to him again. It's been a tough journey, but I'm starting to feel like I'm coming out on the other side. Thanks again to everyone who offered advice and support. This situation has been one of the hardest things I've ever gone through, but it's also taught me a lot about the importance of honesty, boundaries, and self-care.